Hello everyone. We at Sanson AI Labs presenting contact tracing through user location history from Google.
Problem. COVID-19 virus is spreading human to human through droplets very rapidly. It's a droplet transmission, occurs person to person in close contact, say within 1 meter. If someone sneezes, coughing within 1 meter range that you are in, then you are at risk. The droplets may transmit through mouth, nose, and eyes. The chances that you are exposed to those viruses are very high if you are within 1 meter range of that infected person. Okay. Transmission may occur through fomites such as keyboard, door handle, mobile phones. Typically, it's used by others. In general, you have direct contact. The virus can occur by direct contact with infected people and indirect contact with the surfaces that we talked about. When there's a new person comes into hospital with the symptoms, COVID-19 symptoms, okay, so this person has been tested and the result become positive, then health officials will have a responsibility to find out the tracing. How are we tracing it today? So government officials have either one or the following to trace the contacts. Okay, so one is talking to the patient and asking them about their recent visits, such as visiting abroad, visiting the airport, visiting crowded place, malls, and family, friends. All these things, everything will be tracked. Okay, so then the next one is a cell phone tower, right? So if the person went to a mall and then there is a 50 people around, and the cell phone companies can actually track the location and get the details of all the person around in the proximity. And the third option is retrieving the call history. Okay, so with the consent from the patient, health officials can take the mobile number or mobile phone and looking at the call history of the person and talking to one by one, connecting each other and see if they have any other symptoms. And if they have it, and then they will be asked to come to the hospital and do a checkup. If they do not have, most probably they will be asked them to quarantine at home. Okay.
So that's a method that we do it today. So that's how we are doing a contact tracing. And the drawbacks. Fetching all cell phone numbers from a tower proximity. Okay, so that looks good. I think that solution looks good, but that's not scalable. It's not. It is possible. It is. It's definitely possible, but the problem is collecting all the cell phones from per locations. I think it is not that scalable. Okay, so usually I think it requires a lot of resource to work. There are not just one person. There are like maybe 100%. I think it is too tedious to get those details. Okay, and the next option is contacting every single person through phone. Okay, so you just call them and ask them. I think have you met this person? Have you met this person? Have you spoken to the person? I think that's also another solution, but I think that also has it requires time consuming because usually the government officials were very tightly packed this time, and then they would be getting a single minute would be very very precious for them. So I don't think that I think they would be interested in I think calling everyone and asking them. I think we were in contact with the person, although they do it today. I think it's such a it's a tough job. And I think in talking to the suspected person, and he will give an information that I think where he visited, and but I think he may not be able to give define details like I think where he can tell I think he visited a theater, but I think he doesn't know I think all the people in the theater. He can say I think he visited a religious event, but he may not definitely identify who are those person. I think he can say I went with my family, so I think the family members were the list of people where names may be collected, but unfortunately I think cannot just find all the people visited that time to the particular temple. Okay, so that's very difficult. So these are the drawbacks. So we all carry mobile phone all the time. So most of the time users allow their own mobile OS to track their location. So typically, I think Google OS, right? So and Google does it fantastic. I think there's no question about it. And also the beauty of it is that I think they give an option to download your own data. So I think you're not access to anybody else, but I think your own data can be downloaded for free. So I think that way you're very clear about I think what data has been captured by Google. Okay, so that way I think I'm with Google all the time. Okay, so we use Google's timeline history to track the past visiting locations. So Google typically I think it's been tiny files have been stored in Google Cloud, and so we use those file and we fetch the file, and then we using the file I think we try the person visited locations. Okay, so let's say I think if I download I give the tracking my tracking timeline history to the Samsung AI Labs, and then there's another my colleague is also giving it, and so this all the data I think is given by fed into the system, and then they would be able to figure out I think just I think it's a simple math, so we'll be figure out I think this person on a given time this person is close by. Okay, so that we can figure out I think using the latitude longitude the data that has been provided in the part of timeline HA. I'll show the details. I think what data that we are using it to just offer the solution. Okay, so we also provide 50 meters range timeline for a given phone number. So we could do like even less than, more than. So that's actually parameterable. So I think you can adjust those meters. Okay, that's not a problem. But I think we kind of feel I think 50 meters is a little high, but we're not sure about I think GPS data, the accuracy of the GPS data. Not all the time I think you have an accuracy. Okay, so what if I think we just only go for I think 20 meters and then the location identified was something some little out of it. I think we don't want to just miss the potential positive case. Okay. So that's why I think we go with the 50 meters range, and we don't want to miss anybody. Okay, in that range, and so we are only doing it with the Google timeline, and we're happy to connect with Google and Apple if they are interested, and we should be able to I think work together. And what we technically offer. Okay, so we offer two solutions. I think mobile app for Android, so that's for public, you and me and everybody. Okay, so and then the restricted web app for government top officials, because I think the data that has been shared, although it is only latitude, longitude, the places that you visited, I think we don't the privacy is at the core of our Samsung AI Lab, so we don't want to actually share those details to anybody else. I think we only want to just give it to the restricted web apps, web app for government officials. And as I said earlier, I think we are only giving mobile app for Android, and we are not giving it for Apple because we don't know how to get the timeline from Apple. And technically this is a Flutter application, so it should work both on Android and iOS. We're not providing it for iOS because we don't know I think how to track the timeline. Okay, so if you're Apple guys, and I think just if you know the way, please let me know. Okay, so we'll work together. Okay, that's not a problem. And let's quickly look at, I think so much talking, so let's quickly look at our mobile app for Android.
So this is the mobile application. So we are looking for the user's current device location to serve the location in context. Okay, so and then the terms and conditions, and you can just go through and read all the terms and conditions, which clearly states that Samsung AI will not use this data for any purpose, and it's only used for a government official purpose. Okay, and click sign in. And once you sign in, you have to choose an account and wait for the next screen to appear. And there are a couple of other options to appear, and you have to go ahead and read it, and then click allow all the permissions. It's nothing but I think we are going to read only the email address and your local locations and all those things. Okay, so just click allow. And we're not going to just make a call. It's only about getting a permission to read the current device phone number. Okay, so and what you're seeing is the single page application. So it's only 1, 2, 3 steps to upload your timeline data. If you're very new to this application, you can watch the demo. The first link, it will take you to the takeout.google.com. And what you are seeing is my latest report, whatever the report that I have downloaded earlier, which I do not want to use it now because I want to download the new report. And click deselect all the options, only click the location history. Okay, to make sure we are only sharing the location history information to Samsung AI Labs. Okay, click location history, scroll all the way down and click next up. It'll take you to the file type and frequency destination. Choose the delivery method as email, download link via email, because not everybody will have a Drive, Dropbox and everything. Choose send link via email, and you want to export it only once, just click once. And also the file type that we want to use is a zip file. Okay, so we don't support any other format, only zip file. Okay, and the next one is just leave it as it is. Click create export. Okay, so now the request has been submitted to Google, and there's a message that says your file is being prepared. Okay, now all we have to do is go back and look at the Google inbox, because you might have email from Google and asking, did you requested archiving the Google data. Okay, so click on check activity, and that will take you to the link, and make sure I think that is your email ID and then your details, and say yes, it was me requested the Google timeline data, and you're all set. and you wait for the next email to come. Yeah, it has come. So 8:04 p.m. we requested, 8:06 p.m. we have already got the data shared by Google. So you open the email that came from Google that says your Google data archive is ready. Click the download archive, and that will take you to the new page. You might have to log in again to make sure that you are the authenticated person, authorized person to access the data. And when you scroll down, you see, I think when you scroll down, you see the latest file is ready. Okay, make sure, I think, you're downloading the latest file. Click download. Okay, so it's going to the downloads folder of your mobile phone, and now it has been completed, downloaded into a local folder. We want to go back to extras application again because we have completed the step number 1. Okay, so we're done, and we have to go for a mobile phone number. So Android may be able to extract your phone number. If not automatically fill in your phone number and choose the country if not already selected. By default it is India. Okay, then pick the timeline zip file, okay, which you downloaded in the first step. Okay, so you have to give an access to your mobile app to read the folder from your mobile device. Okay, so that is download folder as we discussed, and I think I have 2 of them, but you may have only 1, so just pick, I think, the latest one if you have more than 1. Okay, so just look for this file name to be up here just below the step number 3. That means you are ready to submit your data to Samsung AI Labs. Click submit, and you have a message popped up, thank you, timeline data submitted, stay safe, and that's all you've done. And you can click log out and exit the application. Okay, great. So now you uploaded the you uploaded your timeline history zip file to Samsung AI Labs through the mobile application that we have seen earlier. Okay, so you have not looked at your data. All right, so you just simply downloaded the zip file and you upload them directly onto the Google Samsung AI Cloud. Okay, but you are curious that I think you want to know what data that you uploaded into cloud. Okay, so let's have a look at it. What you uploaded, it's your credit card data, or maybe your personal details, phone number, social security, whatnot. I think let's see, I think what you have uploaded into the Google Cloud. Okay, so what you're seeing is that the file that you uploaded, takeout blah 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 .zip. Okay, so with the date, and you extract here that folder as a takeout folder, and the takeout folder has location history and archive browser.html. It's all about the location. Okay, so location history.json, which is it's similar to the location history details. Okay, so all we are looking at is 2019 and 2010 20 data, because from COVID perspective, so I think it all started in China, Wuhan, during the November period, early November or later November, and we only interested in 2019 and 2020 data. So far we have only till April data, and 19 we will be looking at only November and December files. Okay, that's all the files that will be uploaded to Google Cloud, and only those 6 files, and each file contains timeline objects, your latitude, your longitude of the location every time that you are travel, and we have a lot of details. Okay, you're walking, cycling, still nothing which we do not need. And then you see the address, right? What you're saying is, what I said was, we are tracking the address. Google is tracking the address, the Chennai address. I think name of the address is Highway Grand World Hotel. Okay, it's some hotel in Highway Grand Way. This person was there on a particular date. Okay, so that's all the data that you are sharing it to Samsung AI Labs. Okay, so the name, location address, and latitude, longitude. So we don't need any other information other than latitude, longitude, date, time. Okay, so that's all the information that we need. Okay, restricted web app for officials. As the name implies, it is very restricted to only the top officials. Nobody else, even Samsung AI Labs, will not have an access to this data. It's only restricted to officials and can be accessed across the globe. And what we are looking at is the Extras web application. So it has only simple UI. All it has is only the phone number field. The officials have to just know the phone number if they know the person who are infected, suspected, and uploaded the data already to Xtrace through Xtrace mobile app. The data is already in the Samsung AI Cloud Xtrace application, and all you need to do is actually feed in the phone number, click that blue arrow button, and that will that's going to fetch all the persons that he meet since November 4 and in a different locations on a same time in a 50-meter range. Will I think 10 people they contributed the data, their timeline data. So from that we are we're just trying to visualize it. So they typically frequently travel together, and if you look at, they were in Kempagoda International Airport, and then they were on at different locations. They were in their apartment, it looks like, and they went to a hospital, and if you could see, there are a lot of places these guys went together. So the data is till April 8th, and all of them are here in Tamil Nadu now, and they met at one of the petrol station, and they met in a bakery, and they went to Coimbatore, and they were stayed in a hotel, in the same hotel on February 26th, and this person were traveled through Coimbatore Junction actually. So they traveled through train, and that's one of the mode that we need to suspect. Okay, so on any other, if one of them are infected, it requires to figure out what train they went in, and how many people they traveled in the same train has to be figured out by officials. So it will be easier to track. So it will give a one window, one simple UI that shows on a timeline in a given range on a given date where these people are met each other. Okay, so or maybe they met each other, or maybe so this is very very close data. So that's why we are seeing only a lot of the meeting, a lot of coincidence. So I also see, these people went to Tirupati, and they all met in a sweet snacks shop. They were traveled together to Andhra, and in the earlier we have seen they were traveled to Cochin Airport, and they were in a restaurant they met, and they were in different parts of in all the South India. It looks like they have traveled Cochin, Bangalore, Tirupati, and Tamil Nadu. Okay, so and I'm seeing a lot of coincidence in their data. So the main line is so what you're looking at today here is from the timeline data that what you have uploaded. The government officials can't figure out who are all close to each other in a proximity range, 50-meter proximity range of the suspected or infected person. Maybe if you contribute your data, and by accidentally you have just met a person with since you do not know the person, maybe you met at the mall, and you don't know whether you are infected, but since you uploaded your data to these applications, the officials can able to track your phone number and figure out, and they will be able to reach, and they can inquire. So it's actually prevention is better than cure. It's better that you give your data to the officials and they would be able to figure out, I think, who are all part of it. So rather than, I think, they find out in a infected stage or a severe stage, and so they won't be able to help too much. Okay, so it's better to actually quarantine the particular person, affected person, as early as possible, and the quarantine, I think, other respective close contacts. That's the idea of this application. So it's a very simple one-page application. Government officials can use it to track the COVID patients, okay, or suspected COVID patients, okay.
And so far so good. What are the challenges? Okay, not everybody allows Google to track their timeline history. And year, I think 2018, 19, 20, there are a lot of debates about, I think, who tracks what and all those things. So some of the folks who I think would have just opted out tracking the timeline history. So if you are not tracking your timeline history, I think you won't be able to contribute much. And then second one is voluntary data sharing. Okay, so I think government can advise the citizen to download the mobile app and share the data, but it's definitely the people. Okay, so the idea is, I think, most people who travel, who usually, I think, enable their timeline history, and it doesn't take too much time. I think, as you have seen already. So it'll not take more than 10 minutes. So you stay at home quarantine, be happy and just spend 10 minutes. And I think, that valuable 10 minutes, your data and location. If you are able to just upload the data, and you are making a big difference. Okay. And thanks. Okay. And if you want, you can contact me, ts@sandstorm.com. And I think there's one point that I want to mention.
We have not launched this Android applications into Google Play Store yet, because we want government officials to be interested in this. If they are not consuming it, and I don't think there's a reason to accept data from the end users and keeping it in the cloud. Okay, so if you think it is useful, you can, if you're a government official or if you know anybody in your circle, please forward it to them and see if it is useful. Okay, so
application is ready, and as you've seen the demo, so I think it can be hosted and make it available to the to the people that you're interested in. Okay, so, and thanks. Okay, so my contact details again is ts@sandstorm.com, and I want to thank Ram for giving this spark. Okay, and I